It's not slander if it's true. Sometimes I wonder, but often choose not to. Carrying the cross, whatever metaphor you prefer, knowing two wrongs don't make a right, but three rights make a left. Uh, but I wonder if I were a bad guy, if I were like you, not that you're a bad guy, but if I acted like you badly, what I could do, you know? If I were to use all of these memories, all this knowledge, all of the documents, all of everything to try to do what you do, to slander, to harm, to bring ill will, to destroy life and opportunities in the future, I could do that. I'd be quite successful. But what would it accomplish me? It don't gain me your affection. It doesn't help me. It only helps the world not have to go through what I had to for you. The world not be harmed by some of the same malarkey. I don't know what the greater good is sometimes, you know? Exposing you would be quite a good, quite a justice. But not just erasing like past pain. It ultimately would be justice. You would not be able to do that again. Nowhere near as effective. It takes, I don't know, a lot of discipline to not become the beast-like qualities that I don't like behaving against me. To not mirror that back. To feel your anger and scream back. Something I don't do very much, huh? I understand it, and I've been there. You know, you want to say, this is what you're giving me! This is what I fucking want! I'm giving back to you! But that's clearly not going to solve anything. You know, it's not going to help either one of us. I should continue to set an example, to give you love, whether you choose to love or hate, to be kind or unkind. Doesn't make it easy, you know? Doesn't make it easy. I could wipe you out like a fly with an electric fly swatter. And it'd be done. No one would question. No one would bother with you again. Your name, your known essence will be out there for the world. And all of your lies, all your games, deceit, manipulation, play, all that illusion and power disappears like a puff of smoke, a wisp of a cloud. How I am tempted to destroy you. It will help you, but not without the downward part first, because your kind, liars, thieves, debaucherers, you know, the lower people, you don't really know any other way but rock bottom. And still ain't even the bottom until you meet the lowest of the low, and you thought you had it bad to become this way of being. You won't learn. And no one can teach you. But it does make me wonder. Because see, the other option, what I mentioned, would only hurt you. While it might save other people, but it does not force one to grow. It does not force one to learn. It doesn't get one to change their actions just because they see my life can get harder. It's only when you have nothing. Nothing. None of these people to manipulate. Which makes it seem so much more tempting, doesn't it? None of these people to manipulate, control, get on your side, whatever the case may be when the two parties aren't together anymore, or what have you, when there's only one side to hear, so further control. It would do a great justice to bring you into the light, to have people see. And boy, do I entertain the thought. But what could I do? Instead, I choose to, excuse the language, pray, meditate, hope that it can get better for you. Because I have a kind of love you'll never know. That's clear. Kind of appreciation. Religion ain't a part of that. It's how I liked you in the first place. That's how I cared about you even when you were problematic from the beginning. Because I saw a being, not a look, you know, not just an attitude. I didn't just see your pain, I saw your beauty too. I saw the creative way you decked your makeup out. It's one, I had lots of questions. I would love to understand that introverted creativity of the person. But I never condemned or had any hate of any kind. I found you to be a brilliant, unique thing. And even though that came at a great price to me, and it continues to cost others to try to appreciate you, to turn the other cheek and get in the other jaw, you know, but I wonder what would happen if I did expose you. If I proved it to you. I mean, I'd have to be practically a demon to do it. But, like, I could destroy you. Everything you knew, everything you'll ever know, you'll never get a job. And I wouldn't even have to play the right cards or say the right thing. All I would have to do was put your little background secrets, letters to me, different things. Just put that actual honest piece of evidence out into the world and say, hey, look at this before you make certain decisions with this person. Think about this. Because it might still go well for you, but know what you're getting into. This person's not going to tell you. This type P personality will deceive you, whether they mean well or not. That's all they know. I wonder what you people think about this, about vengeance, about justice, about the fine line in between. About what, knowing that, you turn the other cheek, you get punched in the other jaw. You don't have to be a part of this person's life, and I'm not anymore, for a long time. But it sparks a conversation since similar events are happening in friends of mine's lives. And I want to say, well, you're the only one that can choose, and you can choose to continue to love and get soul sucked right out your neck. But what's it doing? And let's say these people or person, they harm you, they harm other people, they harm themselves. What's going to teach them? Faith and religion don't teach them. Friendship doesn't teach them. Doing the right thing and setting a constant example doesn't seem to really teach them. And doesn't seem to stop them from harming themselves and others, sometimes even literally, And they do that as repentance, some of them, repentance. That's the way that they can attack and hate on themselves and, suffer for what one part of them might take responsibility for. I'm not saying that about all cutters, but it's a factor for some. And it makes me wonder, for some of the more vile, aggressive, angry, outward types that want to blame the entire world and crush the entire world, that, for lack of a better word, we'll use the metaphorical word, demon. They want to be a demon. That want to fight and blame and point fingers, never take credits for shit. Just always mad, always hateful. They don't understand kindness. And there's little glimpses of feeling it sometimes. Makes them latch on. Till they realize it's not something they control. And that puts them in fear. And chaos, a really not comfortable zone, because they only know, whether emotional, mental, or through specific tactics, controlling. And anything that's outside of what they can push button and receive is terrifying. So what do you do with these type of people? The unsavable ones. Some of you might say, cast a spell. Some of you might say, pray. Some of you might say, be relentless. This person needs you. But you see, that can also come at a price too. Because some people that are so iron rock-hearted will say stuff like restraining order or something. You don't even have to say anything negative. You don't have to point out any part of their life. You can just be kind and talk to these people. But due to one or more things in their past, they cling to it. Or due to one or more insecurities, they lash out and attack. And what seems to be also very common and prevalent is that these people find the insecurities in themselves, of themselves, out in the world. They notice it, they relate to it, they identify with it, and they attack it because they can't take personal responsibility for it within them. So they're like, I know that. Fuck that. And they fight. The unsavable. Well, this is just a fun and entertaining thought about the fine line between vengeance and justice, about people who choose the hard way. Yeah. And I'm just a philosopher. It isn't like I expect things to go one way or another, that I express any one thing for one particular audience, versus knowing it meets a barrage of people on the internet in the whole, and sparks opinions and ideas, or encourages independent thinking, creative thinking, or abstract out of their normal, what they're used to thinking. Regardless, I hope it entertains. You may notice, it's, oh God! Yep. Terrifying. No, I'm just kidding. A lot of people would know I would never do that. Ever. Never cut my fucking hair. You know, it's almost against everything I believe in. But you know, I made an interesting choice on Friday the 13th. You know, Friday the 13th, the darkest day or whatever, clichédly. I don't give very many fuck yous out, you know, but I decided not just a justice-like spell, you know, but a personal healing, you know. A couple of years worth of information stored in here. A literal weight, too, on your head. You know, all of that memory, all of that energy, I decided to cut it and use stupid, dull kitchen shears, actually. I thought, huh, they're actually close enough to grab. But, and then I got really thick hair, so they might be better than they seem. I don't know. I decided to meditate, think about all of it, and let it all go, man. That's what I decided to do. You know, to... And the whole time just meditate and think about all of the pain, because it's now revelation, so what are we holding on to it for? Because the others haven't made it yet? Well, that's not within our control. So, cutting it all off and just thinking about it all falling away, feeling lighter and lighter, literally, because hey, I got half of it in this box here. The other half of it I burned. You can only imagine. You know, there is some actual weight to all that. So you feel better, and then the ritual, the ideas going through your head as you symbolize this act, also makes you feel better. It's not something you need to worry about anymore. It's cut away, it's cast aside, you know. I even decided to make it complete, go with the facial hair. And I realized something else in doing this. I only ever had long hair as my own justice for myself. I was old enough to decide that I could. You know, that I'm the one who gets to say exactly how this goes. And most people hated it, and that just gave me a reason to keep doing it. You know, I think I look cuter, honestly. Shorter hair. You know, you definitely see my face, my features more, my wonderful eyes, as some have called. Not only agree with some of the compliments, not out of a conceited way, but because I feel like, and I'll tell you this while I'm here, you're beautiful. You are. And I hope that people get to love themselves, you know? I'm losing my train of thought. I wish I could pause and unpause this, but we'll have to just go with it on the fly. Anyway, derailing, I cast away all the old weight. All the old thoughts. I conquered all those situations. And even though the other people didn't get to succeed with me, friends, allies, temporary acquaintances, girlfriends from time to time, as I did my best, you know, in some unique situations, those were. It does beg to ponder, see, because that's what I chose to do to heal myself, to cut it away, and to know that, you know, like always, the door is open to those who fucking knock, you know. If you want it, it's there. If you want a friend, it's there. If you want love, it's there. But ultimately, I'm at this point, and I'm doing better and better all the time, where I'm cutting it now. It wasn't all in a ritual-like deal, but I'm getting better, and being cognitive and aware and making deliberate decisions, you know. that are best for me. Logical ones, not emotional ones, not obsessive ones, because I want you to have what I have, but ones that make the most sense for all parties involved. You can't rescue a drowning man who walks right back into the fucking ocean to go drown because it is his will. You can only really hope after one or two times to convince him, hey, mammal, you though, lands. I'm a little ridiculous, a little bit goofy, Asperger's. But you know what? I've learned to love me. All of me. I do so much. And I don't hate. I hate that you're addicted to suffering and discontent and pain and anger and... If only, you know, and I've had so many people tell me, I wish I could see what you see, Kevin. To see the beauty and the love in everything. I said, I wish you could too. To see and understand the beauty and the love in a blade of grass. And I use that as an example. Because no one sees the beauty in anything. No one sees, and these are some of the things most overlooked. The sky, the ground, people wearing shoes, you know. It's like, you don't often look down or look up, for real. You know, and you don't often stop either. Stopping to smell the roses, they say. So I'm filled with lots of contemplative thoughts, but what started as a train from the fine line of discernment of knowing when and how to act, watching people drown, to ritualistic behaviors of self-cleansing to here. I haven't made a video in a while, so look at that. 17 minutes of talking to myself / you guys. I love you. Peace and long life, right? You'd be surprised how many of Spock's teachings, actions, etc., taught by Sirach, a biblical name if you look into it, were inspired by the Bible, including the ritual of Kohanim. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which turned the Shaddai Hebrew symbol in a hand gesture into a one-handed gesture when Nimoy peeked during a Jewish ritual as a kid, and it was said you weren't ever supposed to really look, you know, bow your head and close your eyes, because that symbol brought you in the Lord's presence. That it was so powerful that it could cause, you know, unwanted reactions when not exposed to it properly. And whatever people think, I still find it fascinating, and I still love all the positive ideals and ideas, and I choose to express it that way, and saying live long and prosper, and saying peace and long life, which derives from peace be with you. You learn a lot about a person that way. When you say peace be with you, and they don't say anything, you already know, man. You already know. What does it matter? You know, they could have returned it with something, and then what did they choose to say? You know, did they choose to criticize or to analyze? You know, did they choose to return the gesture? Did they just say goodnight? What have you? You know, or did they say you too? Because whether or not they even know where this information comes from, people who are thinking about you are going to return a kind gesture for a kind gesture. That said, peace be with you.